Welcome back, everybody. Welcome. I'm Sheeraz with Duality 7X, and let me tell you, this isn't just another fight week. No, it's history in the making, guys. There is so much stuff that's going on. We got Canelo versus Crawford, two legends in the ring who are going to make so many different storylines. It's unimaginable what's going to come out of this. I mean, you can't write such a perfect script, guys. And look, if you care about legacy and if you care about underdogs, about what happens when someone moves up huge weight, you got to hear this, because trust me, you're going to be locked in for this one. Today is the big day. Today is the big day, guys. September 13, 2025, in Las Vegas at the Allegiant Stadium. We got the super middleweight showdown of the century. We got Canelo Alvarez, who we've been talking about all this week. I mean, it's all over it doesn't matter where you turn it, like what you tune into, what sports channel, what social media platform you guys like, whether you're a sports fan or not a sports fan, you're going to come across some kind of ad or something related to the big showdown that's happening today. So you're going to have Canelo Alvarez, the undisputed super middleweight champion of the world. And what an impeccable resume, guys. 63 2-2 with 39 by way of KO. And he's going to be defending all of his belts against Terence Bud Crawford, who's undefeated, 41-0, 31 by way of knockout. And he's moving up two weight classes, guys. Two weight classes from 154 pounds to 168 pounds. And you got to take this all in, because we talk about cutting weight, but rarely have you ever talked about moving up weight. And it's a big deal. Big deal. Actually, Mike Tyson was just talking about this. And Tyson obviously is rooting for the American Terence Crawford, but is really worried about his chances against Canelo. But he was talking about how certain fighters have been successful in moving up weight classes. You look at Roy Jones Jr. He moved up to light heavyweight, and he did amazing. He won the championship. So there's a lot of stories like that too, guys. But I mean, in this case, with Terence Crawford moving up two weight classes, this is a big deal. A lot of people probably like, he's only moving up like, maybe 10, 12 pounds ish, somewhere around there. No, it's a big deal, guys. It's a really big deal, because in addition to that, you have to make sure that your conditioning, your training, and everything, your dieting, all is in sync. And your body's not feeling sluggish. You're not feeling sluggish. It's a science. It's an absolute science. So anyways, this is why these guys have a big, they have a lot of people around them. They've got big camps around them, because they're spending the big bucks to make sure that they're doing everything they can to have that peak optimum edge going into the fight. So the big weigh-in was happening yesterday. Both made weight at around 167.5 pounds, official weigh-in behind closed doors. The undercard guys is stacked too, right? So a lot of people are not talking about the undercard, but we've got Callum Walsh versus Fernando Vargas Jr. That's going to be exciting. You've got Christian and Bill versus Lester Martinez, and then you got some prelims that are going to be starting a little bit earlier than that as well too. And all of this is going to be streaming on Netflix and other affiliates platforms. So that said, Canelo, is he going to deliver? I mean, this could be the greatest victory for Mexico. He himself is saying this is going to be a great victory for Mexico. And he's speaking with absolute confidence. He's going in there and he's like, if he was a betting man, he'd bet everything that he owns right to the penny. He probably doesn't own any pennies. Probably just gold bricks. Crawford, on the other hand, he's also very, very confident. I mean, he claims that this could be the biggest fight in the decade. And I'm not going to disagree with that. This is going to go down as probably one of the biggest fights of the century, because there's a lot riding on it. You've got all the belts on the line. You also have legacies on the line. Somebody's going to come out here as probably one of the greatest fighters of all time. So this is absolutely crazy, and he wants to make history, right? He wants to make history. He wants to be the undisputed champ, in a third weight class, right? So this is a big deal for him. He's accomplished so much in his career. So has Canelo. This is going to be one for the ages, guys. Dana White announced $100,000 bonuses for the undercard fights. $100,000 performance of the night and fight of the night, similar to what we see in the UFC. Now we're seeing it in the sport of boxing. I love this. I'm not going to say merger, but I love this integration of mixed martial arts, right? The UFC and the sport of boxing. This is absolutely wild, guys, right? So we're so used to seeing the performance of the nights for UFC, and now and now we're gonna see 100 instead of the $50,000 performance of the night bonus. We're gonna see $100,000. That's a big deal, guys. And anyways, this is gonna hype up the whole fight, the whole card all to itself. The undercard fighters are gonna get super rewarded, and you know what? They're gonna be putting some real stakes on those early fights. Now, when we talk about the weigh-ins, both fighters, as I mentioned, locked in at about 167.5 pounds. There's absolutely no drama. It's official. It's ready. It's ready to go. It's booked in, guys. That's ready. Ready, set, and now it's time for a match. And that weight jump for Crawford, I'm telling you, is going to be watched immensely. A lot of people have been talking about it. The fact that he's moved up quite a bit in terms of weight. That's not a bit. That's a pretty big deal. And so we're going to see how that's going to play out in the ring. Is it going to slow him down? Is it going to affect him in any way? It's going to be definitely something interesting to see. So here's how I break this fight down. Now, moving up 2 weight classes, as I was talking about, is no joke, right? So you got when Terence Crawford is going to he's going to be giving up size, power, and possibly punch resistance. But here's how, okay, when we talk about the gains, right? I mean, his gains could technically be speed, it could be freshness, it could be that whole motivation, and he's on a different trip right now, guys. He's looking at being a champion in a third weight class. This is a big deal for him. If he's able to pull off this incredible run and victory, his name is going to be remembered for eternity. And this is a very big deal. So when you compile all of those factors, that motivation, that ability to wanting to persevere, it's going to be really hard to bet against him, right? And he looks sharp. People have been watching him in the ring, sparring, and wow, you got Canelo on one hand, who's a beast, and now you got Crawford, who's just, it's really hard to bet on this fight, guys. The energy is going to be surreal. Absolutely surreal. On the flip side, when we're talking about Canelo, I mean, he's been here before. And so Canelo knows how to impose physicality. He's done it so many times before. How to punish mistakes. So many people have gone in there, accidentally made a little boo-boo, a little error on their part, and Canelo capitalizes. He doesn't wait. He takes advantage of it right then and there. And this is what made Canelo so successful throughout his career as a boxer and as an athlete, because he knows he's got that boxing IQ, which is like video game-esque. He's definitely a cheat code when it comes to the world of boxing, and he's got championship experience at this weight, guys. That gives him a lot of advantages. And then when you talk about the fight in general, you're talking about the performance bonus structure that Dana White has announced. And I mean, this is great. I mean, His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh, when he was saying, "Oh, Dana White's got a big announcement. He's got a big announcement," and then Dana White didn't really say anything. But then after it came out, and this could have been that big announcement. So I'm absolutely enthralled. I'm excited. Great opportunity for the fighters on the prelims and the undercards to really prove themselves and show. This is going to, again, I keep talking about, do not underestimate the prelims or anything that's not on the main card. Do not. You know, everyone's talking about the main event, right? Canelo versus Crawford. But you got to look at the prelims. There's a lot of good fighters here, and people worth like taking note of, because these guys are going to be definitely main event material in the coming future. That said, we talked about the bonus structure. We talked about Crawford's psyche going into this fight, Canelo, their potential abilities, their strengths, what they can draw on, the things they can potentially capitalize on. And you know, from a legacy standpoint, if Crawford wins, people, as I mentioned, his name is going to be etched into history. His name will never be forgotten. It'll be remembered for eternity. It's absolutely historic, right? He could be the first male boxer in the 4-belt era to become undisputed champ in 3 weight classes. That's a pretty big deal, guys. No other male boxer has ever done that before. And if Canelo wins, he just reaffirms himself as one of the best fighters of all time. It's incredible. What Canelo has done throughout his legacy, throughout his career, and how he's built his legacy. There's very few fighters who are going to be able to match that. The one big concern, though, is, you know, Crawford's body. Like, how will his body respond to the jump in the moving up weight classes, right? And you know, when in addition to cutting weight and then moving up weight, rehydration, you know, nutrition, training, conditioning, you know, there's always big question marks when it comes to that. And for Canelo's Canelo. He didn't really have to do much in terms of moving up, moving down. He just has to do what he does, his prep for every fight. And Canelo's still at his peak, guys. The big question that I think everyone's going to be asking is, what about that wear and tear on Canelo? Is it going to start to show in this fight? There are some little things in his last couple fights that people have noticed, but then again, Canelo has been able to persevere and shine, right? So if Crawford pulls off the big upset that everyone's thinking potentially could happen, the boxing world shifts. And then he becomes a talking point for all future fights. Big, super paydays. Matchups are opening. He writes his own legend. And if Canelo wins, he definitely cements his spot, as pound for pound, one of the greatest fighters of all time, right? So, but then again, you know, Canelo has signed with Riyadh Season. So, you know, this could also open up some mega super fights. But the expectations on Canelo are obviously going to be a lot higher than Crawford. Crawford's chasing a legacy. He's chasing a feat, an accomplishment that no other male boxer has been able to do. And Canelo, on the other hand, is trying to preserve his legacy as the crown champion. A lot of people, when it comes to this division, everyone talks about Canelo. Nothing against Crawford. He's an absolute powerhouse in his own, but most people know the name of Canelo. So for Canelo, the expectations are going to be higher because he's going to have to prove that he still has it, and at that high caliber level. Because if he shows chinks in the armor, if there's any inclination that he's slowing down or he's off by a step or two, people are going to eat it up in the media, and it's not going to be good for him. So he's got a lot of pressure as well too, and so there's a lot riding on this fight, guys. And this fight, I've never heard of anyone saying that this fight is going to be boring. I think this is going to be probably, in the first couple rounds, it could be like feeler out rounds. They're just going to be kind of, throwing some slight combinations, just, a lot of movement, just to try to get a feel for the other fighter. And then it's going to be on, guys, because it also, remember, there's a point system in all this as well too. And those points, it's really hard. If you're down a few rounds or a couple rounds, it's really hard to make that ground up. And both fighters know this. So are we going to see a knockout? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think we're going to see a knockout. But I do expect this fight to go the distance, and it's going to be absolutely engaging and entertaining at the same time. And from a business side of things, streaming on Netflix, genius, right? Global reach, undercard bonuses. I mean, this is definitely a template that I see for future bigger fights, right? So when we see the likes of Alexander Usyk or Daniel Dubois, Anthony Joshua, there's talks about Anthony Joshua and coming out. He's going to be coming back in a future fight here. When we see these guys, and then of course when they fight, I can definitely see the templates happening on their fights as well too. So it's going to be absolutely incredible. I think the whole world of boxing and that format of how we watch boxing is going to change, and it's going to change for the better. So I'm absolutely pumped and excited about this. There's greater expectations. There's bigger platforms now. There's going to be crossover of fans from different sports and genre of sports, and just people who may not necessarily be fans of any combat sports, but they're going to be tuned into the curiosity and the excitement and all the marketing and glamour and glitz that goes behind the operational side of things. And I think this is absolutely incredible. I can't wait for this fight and future fights as well too. So people are going to be watching this for the drama, for the spectacle, but I think more importantly, I'm going to be watching it for all those reasons and more, for the entertainment, of course, but more importantly for the legacy. So I think all of the above, and both fighters are going to have to deliver. In my opinion, this is probably going to be one of the biggest fights, as I mentioned, in the last few years. And I don't know how long, but this is the fight that everyone's talking about. Pure and simple, guys. Okay, again, undisputed champ versus undefeated legend moving up. The stakes are legacy, pride. Crawford has the hunger. He's hungry like a wolf. He's motivated. He wants to do what no male boxer has been able to perform. Canelo has experience. He's got a lot of expectations, and he wants to secure his stake to the ground as pound for pound one of the greatest fighters of all time. Right? So, what do you think? Who wins? How do they win? I want to hear your thoughts and comments, guys. By knockout, by decision, late finish. Drop a comment below, guys. If you guys are new to the channel, it'll help us out if you smash the like and subscribe. And if you enjoyed this hype-filled breakdown, guys, then tune in for Duality 7X for more fight talk. I promise more content's coming our way. Predictions, post-fight breakdowns, and all that good stuff. Let's ride this fight together, guys. There's a lot of stuff that's going on today. We've got UFC Noche as well, too, that's happening. Tomorrow there's going to be a big fight as well too. I've got a lot to break down for you guys, so stay tuned to Duality 7X, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.